Right, how excited are you to see Cole Palmer? How excited are you to see Cole Palmer?
So excited. I think we all are. We've just been waiting for him to return, and as good as our results have been and as good as some of those performances have been, you can't say that Cole Palmer's not missing in that team, especially in that 10 row. As Jay said, nobody does it like Cole Palmer, and of course we've seen Joao Pedro there, but I think he's struggled and part of his game has been limited by Cole Palmer's absence. So actually him returning, I think, will elevate Joao Pedro's game because they can link up. We're dying to see that partnership with Hristova, of course, out on the right. That could be really, really special. So actually Cole Palmer is that glue that really just lines up the whole attack.
Well, with Palmer, do you know that without him, your win rate is actually better in the Premier League? Now, you can see that as a negative towards Cole Palmer, or you could see it as a positive that other players are stepping up and it shows that you've got the strength in depth.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good way to look at it because we were called Cole Palmer FC not long ago when he was doing all the work up front. But actually now there's goals coming across the front line. We're getting more winger output as well, which is great. But I think actually that's just a great thing. But I think what you will notice is the chance creation in terms of creativity in that 10 role is slightly limited. I think especially like losing the ball in those positions sometimes because Joao Pedro is quite slow sometimes. So I certainly think that results have been great without him, but that creativity and that spark you don't get it from anyone else like Cole Palmer, and I think we're just going to be so happy to see him in that lineup tonight, hopefully.
Nina, do you know what I think? To be honest, I agree with a lot of what you said, but I think the reason why that percentage was that percentage is because Chelsea at periods wasn't playing with the kind of confidence they're playing with now. So they would look at Palmer because obviously he was lighting it up, he was getting goals, he was getting assists. I think like now there's more balance within the squad, like you said there. For me, Neto's probably been the best player this season. He's been unbelievable. He plays on both wings. I'm a bit disappointed though, and I want to know what you think. Why Hristova doesn't play more. Everyone talks about his age, but I think that's irrelevant. I would really like to know what you think as to why Hristova doesn't play a lot more, because he can play on both wings and as a 10.
Yeah, I think, Jay, you're right. We want to see so much more of Hristova. I think Maresca's been quite careful in terms of managing his minutes. He is 18 years old after all and coming across the whole world, you know, settling into the Premier League, one of the most difficult leagues, quite physical. I think he's just been quite careful with that. But actually, it's worked quite well for him because he's often been in that sort of super sub character, which has done wonders for him because he's come on, he plays against tired legs, he takes on his man, and he's just so explosive and very technical as well. But actually, we do want to see him start. I think he is ready. What he has shown to us, perhaps maybe not so much in the Arsenal game. I think he struggled in those opening minutes, but even still, he was up there. He has the confidence. He backs himself to do it, and that's exactly what you need, especially against Leeds tonight. You're looking at playing maybe a team that might sit back. You need those players that will unlock defenders, that will find those pockets, make those runs. So actually, he's ready, and I think now with Cole Palmer returning, maybe that'll be that extra level of support there he needs in a player like Palmer, who is so secure in his role, very confident, knows exactly what it means to play for Chelsea. I think that could be a very maybe key partnership. So maybe Maresca's been waiting for Cole Palmer to return to show him the ropes and ease him into those starting spots.
Do you think that Chelsea need like a more experienced player, like a ready player that's experienced to come into this team? Because I think the only reason why Chelsea, you know, they're in the title contention for sure, but I think the only reason why they wouldn't win it is because they don't have that experience going through the spine. The Chelsea teams I remember, and the most successful teams, they always have more experienced players, and Chelsea are just very young at the moment.
Yeah, you're right, and I think we missed that leadership in the back line, I think specifically towards the start, especially of the season. You know, when Thiago Silva left, I said we never quite replaced the leadership and just the qualities in the player that he was for us. He was able to tie everyone in defence. I think why half of our defenders looked so promising was because they were playing alongside a Thiago Silva. So actually, a lot of these young players have really just had to learn on the job, just sort of, you know, pull their socks up, get on with it. But it's so much easier when you have that leadership, as you say there, Jay, to be losing in a game or be behind in a result and have someone that can just say, right, you know, pull your socks up and play for this result. So it's been difficult, but I'd say to that, we have slowly been turning these youngsters into a little bit more experienced players. You know, you look at the likes of Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, someone who's really grown into his leadership role as a captain as well. Pedro Neto, as you mentioned, someone who has also become a lot more experienced, and he's been in the Premier League. He's been around now for some time. So actually, you're looking at these players, of course, Reece James as well, who is arguably arguably our most experienced player, and they're forming their own experience. So I think that's probably a positive. And this is actually what the whole Chelsea project, if I can say, is about. These young players just becoming these better versions. So hopefully one day they can be those legends, as you say, and they can leave Chelsea having been those experienced players, or turning into them rather.
But the project, I mean, you as a Chelsea fan, a project lasts only so long, then you want to see results, right? And I feel like it's getting to that point. You spent a whole heap of money on this squad. It's no longer, oh, they're young. There can be no excuses now. You have to go and win something. It's not just a case of, oh, we want to see these.
We want to see
these. Pardon?
There you go, Tom. You said it.
Majors. Chelsea are not judged on, domestic cups. They're judged on majors. And I feel like you're almost there. There are another few additions, and it's going to be a real talking point. Again, one question I would like to ask you, because there was a lot of stick from Chelsea fans and a lot of criticism coming from pretty much everyone about Sanchez. What are you feeling about Sanchez now? Would you want to sign another keeper, or do you trust him now?
Yeah, I have to say there's been a lot of criticism from my behalf on the way to Sanchez there, so I have to hold my hands up and say I need to give him his flowers because he deserves them this season. I think he's a completely different goalkeeper from the one we saw last season. I think the thing with Sanchez is he's a great shot stopper, and we'd seen it, but the inconsistencies of doing the very basics like ball distribution or not keeping it simple sometimes when we play out the back is what made us Chelsea fans so nervous. But now he's getting it right. I think he looks a bit more confident. I think his cross collection has become brilliant, and actually you saw it against Arsenal. One of their biggest threats from crosses, he was nullifying that quite comfortably in the air. So I think with Sanchez is just stay consistent, and we can actually really believe that he is our number one. We don't really have it. You might look at our books and say we've got 10 goalkeepers there, but Sanchez is number one, and he has got that experience. So he's here to stay, hopefully, and I just hope he can maintain that consistency because he's got it now. He's on a good run. Keep it up. That's all it is with Sanchez.
Who's your number one striker, though? Because the number 9 is important. And so far, I know Delap's been out and, he's been injured, then he's come back and got suspended. Who is your number 9? Because you need one. You need one in order to win the title. You need someone that's going to win, score 15 Premier League goals, 20 Premier League goals. Was it a mistake letting Jackson go? I feel like Chelsea need to address that situation as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about a striker for the longest time. I think coming in off the back of this summer with probably Liam Delap and João Pedro as the sort of out-and-out number 9s. I think Maresca said that João Pedro can play a 10 and he's not maybe a sort of, natural striker there. But I personally would favour Liam Delap over him. I think I'd start him tonight. Actually, you need that sort of bulldozer that he is, sort of collect the ball in one-on-one opportunity. He's quite good. That opportunity that João Pedro just really overthought against Arsenal, where he was one-on-one with the keeper, if you guys remember, he didn't take that. Liam Delap does that. He's a bit more of a killer in the box, and I think that you certainly need that profile there. So I think we're yet to see more of Delap. He's been out, but I think we're patient with him. Hopefully he can be that guy, but I'm not missing Nicholas Jackson right now.
I'll tell you one thing, Nina, I'm going to get you excited because I genuinely think if Kane comes back to the Premier League, I think it will be to Chelsea.
Really, do you think?
I genuinely think it will, yeah. I think it will because he's that type of player that would fit Chelsea's profile. Experience, he can drop deep, he can spray the ball to the wingers that run in behind him. And obviously,
they sign young
in my
players.
opinion...
They don't sign young players now.
Yeah,
in my opinion, he's still the best number 9 in the world. He's still the best goal scorer in the world. So I feel like if he does come back to the Premier League, it will be Chelsea.
Well, yeah, you'd be happy to hear that, Nina. In terms of what Enzo Maresca has been saying, he says that, ask me about the title race after December, OK? Why is he saying that rather than now? Just to go through, you've got fixtures in other competitions as well, but in the league, Leeds away, Bournemouth away, Everton at home, Newcastle away, Aston Villa at home and Bournemouth at home. That makes up your December. In the Premier League, that's not including the League Cup away at Cardiff and the Champions League away at Atalanta. Why isn't he saying that they're in a title race now?
Well, just because of that fixture list, maybe you just listed there, Tom. It's quite overloaded there in December. But look, I think it's just like what we're doing right now. We are getting the results. I think they need to be a bit more consistent, though. In order to be a title challenging team, you need to go on a bit of a run. And I don't mean sort of 2 wins and then back to a draw, then a loss. So I think that needs to improve. We get the opportunity to hopefully do that in December. And I think this is a bit of a make or break. Last year, after this kind of Christmas period, when we were again sort of considered title challengers. We went on a bit of a downturn in results, and actually it looked like a very difficult season to secure top 4. But this season, what I will say is there's a lot more promise with the players we have, the experience, they're sort of gelling together. I think it makes a little bit more sense. The back line is coming together nicely. So I think we're certainly up there and we're pushing the likes of Arsenal. We saw that at the weekend. We're disappointed to walk away with a draw after being a man disadvantaged. So that tells you everything.
You shouldn't be, because they're a better team.
We are. That tells you how ambitious we are. So I think Maresca's not putting the pressure on the players right now to tell them that we are in a title race. It's a good thing as well, though, because it's just December. It's so early on. You're seeing how narrow the point gap is in the Premier League. You win a game, you know, you're into third. You lose a game, you're down to 6th and 7th. So it changes.
Nina, but to be honest, like, let's be real. Chelsea are not really interested in the League Cup. They're interested in Champions League and Premier League. League Cup, domestic cups, I feel like is the rotation players. They want to go and play them games. Yes, you know, you want to win every game. Yeah, you want to win every trophy you compete in. But ultimately, Chelsea will be focused on the Champions League and the Premier League. FA Cup for them kind of teams, it makes no difference nowadays, Tom. It's historic for us. It's historic for English people, right? But at the end of the day, they are not judged. Maresca is not going to be judged on winning the FA Cup. It's the league and the Premier League.
Yeah. Absolutely, you're spot on there, and I think, you know, we've
shown in the last year. Just tell Tom.
I mean, you say that, but we've really been described as a tournament team, and we pretty much have been a tournament team in the last few years because, like you say, you know, we went out, we won a Club World Cup, you know, we won the Conference League, of course, we won the Champions League not long ago, which is obviously that major honour you're talking about. But when it comes to the Premier League, we've really lacked that sort of consistency to be a brilliant team over the course of 38 games. That's what we're now aiming for. I think that's the dream. Well, I love the Champions League. I've been, you know, in my lifetime, I've seen us lift 2, which is brilliant. But I think all of us Chelsea fans are just dying to get our hands on that Premier League title in the next couple years, hopefully, because this is what we've been building. And yeah, after the Champions League, we fell off a cliff. Now we're hopefully just trying to get back into that winning way. But yeah, the Premier League is the dream now, absolutely.
Yeah, well, my team won the Papa John's Trophy. You two are able to say that. So thank you, Nina. Great to speak to you.
Thanks, Nina.
Thank you, Tom and Jay. Have a good day. Cheers.
You too.